Good afternoon. Today I'll be discussing sleep deprivation and its impact on early adolescence, specifically students between the ages of 10 and 14. I'll focus on how sleep affects brain development, emotional regulation, and academic performance, and I'll also discuss what this means for us as educators. Sleep is often treated as a health issue, but it is deeply connected to learning and development. When we understand how sleep affects the adolescent brain, we begin to understand many of the academic and behavioral challenges we see in middle school classrooms. Early adolescence is one of the most significant periods of neurological change after early childhood. During this time, the brain is restructuring itself. The prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning, impulse control, organization, and decision making, is still developing. At the same time, adolescents experience a shift in their circadian rhythm. Their bodies naturally release melatonin later at night, meaning they biologically feel alert later in the evening. However, they still need between 8 and 10 hours of sleep per night. Most middle school students average closer to 6 or 7 hours. That gap may not seem large, but it creates cumulative effects over time. Sleep directly impacts executive functioning. When adolescents are sleep deprived, the prefrontal cortex becomes less efficient. Executive functioning includes attention span, working memory, impulse control, and the ability to organize and prioritize tasks. At the same time, sleep deprivation increases activity in the amygdala, the emotional center of the brain. This makes adolescents more emotionally reactive and less able to regulate stress. So, biologically, a sleep deprived adolescent is operating with reduced cognitive control and heightened emotional sensitivity. Sleep is also essential for memory consolidation. During deep sleep cycles, the brain processes and stores information learned during the day. Without adequate sleep, students are not fully retaining what they learn. In the classroom, this has very real consequences. Sleep deprivation can reduce attention span and slow processing speed. Students may struggle to follow directions, complete tasks, or stay focused during instruction. Behaviorally, we often see increased irritability, impulsivity, and emotional outburst. It is important to emphasize that these behaviors are often interpreted as laziness or lack of motivation. However, in many cases, there are biological consequences of chronic sleep loss. We cannot expect optimal academic performance from a brain that is cognitively fatigued. There are several modern factors contributing to adolescent sleep deprivation. Technology is a major one. Blue light from phones and tablets suppresses melatonin production, delaying sleep onset. Social media increases emotional stimulation late at night, making it harder for students to disengage. Academic pressures and extracurricular commitments also extend waking hours. Finally, early school start times often conflict with adolescent biological rhythms. These factors combine to create a generation of chronically sleep deprived students. So, what can we do? As educators, we cannot control bedtime routines. However, we can shift our awareness. Recognizing the neurological effects of sleep deprivation allows us to interpret student behavior more accurately. Rather than immediately labeling a student as disengaged, we can consider whether fatigue is affecting executive functioning. We can incorporate brief movement breaks to reset attention. We can provide structured organizational supports. We can communicate sleep research to families and integrate discussions of healthy routines into advisory or SEL lessons. Supporting adolescent sleep is not about lowering standards, it is about aligning our expectations with developmental science. Early adolescence is a critical window for cognitive and emotional growth. Sleep is not optional during this stage, it is foundational. If we want students to think clearly, regulate emotions effectively, and perform academically at their highest level, sleep must be part of the conversation. Thank you.